what Jonathan says is absolutely right. There is the same amount of work involved in a £300,000 hair salon deal than there is a £1 million printing firm. We had a pipeline of 30 to 40 at a time. And when you're in that position versus having one deal, your power of negotiation is ridiculous. And I just paid 20 grand to do a deal worth 400,000 to me at the time in 3 weeks. We've got a chain of ladies' hair salons. We bought 21 in an 8-month period in 2020 and 2021. We've since got rid of 4 of those. We've bought 4 more. We're just disposing of 3 more. We're trying to buy 4 more. So we're kind of in that space at the moment, and we're just reworking the group to bump profit mainly. But over the last 12 months, we've also bought 2 marketing firms. We've just in the last 4 weeks purchased a printing firm, largely because the customer of a print firm is the same kind of customer of a marketing firm. They sell very complementary products. So we're in that space now. We're just getting back into IT. It was actually my background originally. And then back in April, we bought, I call it a catering business. It's a sandwich van company. So we've got an office on a marina, and the sandwich van's been coming around for the last 6 years. And the guy knocked on our door last year and he said, "I'm moving to France. Do you want to buy my sandwich van?" And I was like, "Not really, mate. It's a sandwich van." And he said, "But I've got 5 of them and we do £750,000. I went, "Come on in." So we agreed a deal with him. This was last year at some point, and we agreed about, I think it's 120,000 consideration. We got into due diligence. We uncovered tax issue in that he wasn't VAT registered and he should have been.
I think slightly over the threshold, right?
Slightly over the threshold. In fairness, he did sell VAT exempt stuff, but not, it was probably a third of what he sold. So we said to him, "You're probably 6 figures into a VAT liability here. We need to pull out, or you sell us the assets." So we walked away, and then back in April, Liquidator phoned us and said, "We're shutting, or this business is closing on Friday," this is on Wednesday, "unless someone comes along and buys the goodwill and assets, but you've got 24 hours. So long story short, we ended up paying an agent £10,000 24 hours later, and we inherited the exact same business we were going to pay 120,000 for less than a year ago.
Yeah, so, great story.
yeah, that's a great deal. But I am probably the maverick in Jonathan's stable of, a lot of the stuff he's told you this morning I haven't done. I have bought very small businesses, and what Jonathan says is absolutely right. There is the same amount of work involved in a £300,000 hair salon deal than there is a £1 million printing firm. But you just get more upside on a bigger business a lot faster. My first deal was actually the easiest one I've ever done. A friend of mine owned half of another IT firm. I knew nothing about acquisition. And he phoned me and he said, "You've got an IT business, I own half of this one, I don't pull any out of it, it's a pain in my backside. Do you want to buy it?" I went, "Yeah, sure, what do you want?" And he said, 120,000. And I looked at my bank and I went, "I'll give you 20,000. And he went, "Yeah, all right, then let's do that." So
this is the subtle art of negotiation you're witnessing here.
Yeah, you can have what's in there. And there was no kind of mechanics or logic behind it. And 3 weeks later, we stumbled over the line with this deal. And at the time, I was employing telesales salespeople. We were growing by 250K a year, and I just paid 20 grand to do a deal worth 400,000 to me at the time in 3 weeks. And I was paying my sales team not far off 20,000 a month. So they went, and then I learned how to do this kind of properly over the next year or 2.
Buying a business is just so rewarding. And I put together a free training showing you exactly how I do it. If you look in the video description below this video, there is a link. You click the link, you're taken through to the training, watch the training, and I'll show you exactly how to buy a business successfully.
So we sent 1,500 out, maybe don't do this, we sent 1,500 out in 1 week, and over the subsequent 2 weeks, we had just over 300 people contact us from that. Unfortunately, I still owned the IT group at that point, so I kind of ripped some people out and said, "Look, answer the phone, get the, respond to emails, but I need you to kind of do this. And if it ticks all of these boxes, come and see me." So we were able to kind of manage that quite well. And as a result of those 300 inquiries, we completed 21 deals over that 8-month period.
So did you put any of your own money into those?
No, so we've completed 35 deals. over the last few years. I've had to put money into 2 of them. One of them I put 2.5 grand into and got straight back out. The liquidation deal we did in April, I had to put 10 grand in. We've had that out. But other than that,
It's not exactly large amounts of money,
no,
is it?
33 deals we've done, no money down. And I love, a lot of the deals we've done are small micro businesses. That a good hair salon is 350,000
Of revenue.
of revenue. The largest we bought last year was 500,000 turnover. I like, the first thing I look for is, I think you alluded to it earlier, a highly motivated seller. Some of the deals, we actually got someone to pay us 20,000 last year to take a business off of her hands that was, these are small companies, it was cash flowing 80,000 a year. She paid us. The reason she paid us because she told us, this was in December 21, another hair salon, and she said to us, and actually you're right, the motivation is largely retirement, ill health. We've seen a lot of sellers where they don't want to retire or they're not ready to retire, but their husbands, wives, partners have. And so they're sat with this business around their neck, and then their spouse or partner is running around the golf course or the tennis club and having a great life. So they want that life. So 2/3 of the economy is owned by people that are not primarily motivated by money. So we look for those people and we find out what's important to them, and then we give them what they want, but on the condition and it's on our terms.
When buying a business, you need a great lawyer on your team. So why not use mine? His name is John Andrews and his details are on the screen.
We are still buying in the hair and beauty space. We set a goal of getting up to 100. We still have that goal. If we get to 100, we'll be in the top 2 or 3 in the UK, and then we would be very attractive to people like private equity and so on. I always say about deal flow, when we were buying the salons, we had a pipeline of 30 to 40 at a time. And when you're in that position versus having one deal, your power of negotiation is ridiculous.
Absolutely.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, those options allow you to walk away, and the most powerful thing you can ever do in any negotiation is know that you can walk away and say no and mean it, and not be bothered about whether it happens or not. The more bothered you are, the worse deals you do. The less bothered you are, the less emotionally detached you are, or the more emotionally detached you are, then the better deals you do.
Yeah, the very first call I have, I normally say, look, we're going to get into some kind of numbers at some point. What I'll tell you up front is I don't ever factor in emotion to deals and valuations. You will, I don't. This is your baby, not mine. I tell them that I don't value on things I can't see. A lot of businesses in that sector, there's cash knocking around. Catering firm, there's cash knocking around. If they're parking it out of the way and I can't see it, it's not factored in. And I tell them that I don't value anything based on future. You get a lot of, pretty much every Saturday, I've not met any business owner that's not optimistic about next year.
Well,
we have our best year yet.
The reason they want you to value it on potential is because it's not doing great right now.
Yeah, yeah.
So could you please ignore what it's doing right now? And let's just all imagine it's going to be wonderful over the next 3 years, and give me something based on the next 3 years.
Yeah, if you put some marketing in, and if you do this, and if you do this, it will do that, so we should value it. Well, why don't you do that and then come back and see me in a year's time? And they never do. So I say those 3 things up front, and it kind of just cuts out any of that really early on.